All right, gang. Okay, Cockney Rhyming Slang. Let's go. So, let's start with the basics. What is it? Like the name suggests, it's a kind of slang created and used by Cockneys, and it uses rhymes and rhyming phrases. How did it come about? Well, it's been around, they reckon, since about the 1840s, 1850s. There's a couple of theories which are very similar. One is that it was a thieves' language, what's called a thieves' cant, so that people who are up to no good could talk about their business without the police understanding what they're saying. Another version is it was unscrupulous traders talking amongst themselves about whatever sharp practices they were up to, so their customers didn't latch on to what they were talking about. Probably a bit of column A, bit of column B. Who knows? But the common factor is it's designed to confuse outsiders. So, you might think, well, I can understand a rhyme. If I hear something that doesn't sort of make sense linguistically, but it rhymes with something that would, then I can probably work that out. There is another very, very important part of Cockney Rhyming Slang, which I'm going to mention in a moment. And I'm going to illustrate that with a few uses that you may not even realise are Cockney Rhyming Slang. First one, somebody's trying to work out a problem and you go, come on mate, use your loaf. Meaning, think about it. You know, try and work out what's going on. Loaf, in this instance, is Cockney Rhyming Slang. It comes from loaf of bread, meaning head. So another one, your mate comes round, got a new car. Oh really? Let's have a butcher's. You want to have a look at his new car. A butcher's hook, a look. But the phrase, the rhyming bit, so bread and hook have been cut off. And that's the bit that confuses the outsiders. Because if you heard somebody say, I've got a bit of gear, do you want to have a butcher's hook? You might think, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I want a butcher's hook? But I might want to have a look at his gear. That would make sense. So they cut off the look and you say, have a butcher's? I don't understand what he's talking about. So that's why they cut the rhyming phrase off to confuse the outsiders. Having said that, there are a number of Cockney Rhyming Slang phrases where the rhyme isn't cut off. The two probably most well-known ones, the rhyme for car, the most common one, is jam jar. I have never ever heard anyone say, I've got to go and clean the jam. They always use the full phrase, I've got to go and clean the jam jar. Another one is the Cockney Rhyming Slang phrase for believe, Adam and Eve. Again, I've never ever heard anyone say, can't Adam it. It's always the full phrase, I can't Adam and Eve it. Now, there is a very common Cockney Rhyming Slang phrase where the rhyme is cut off that loads of you will use, I'm sure. You probably don't know it's Cockney Rhyming Slang, and you almost certainly don't know that it was originally very rude. Someone's been a bit of a fool, bit of an idiot, say to him, he is such a Burke. Burke comes from one of the most famous fox hunts in England, the Berkeley Hunt. I'll let you work out what that rhymes with. So, having already talked about me loaf of bread, let's run through a few more. This, that's me boat race, me face. This is me barnet fair, my hair. These are me minces, me mince pies, me eyes. That's me north and south, my mouth. These are my Hampstead Heath, my teeth. That's my Gregory Peck, my neck. They're me Germans, me German bands, me hands. And this, or these, Then me plates. Me plates of meat, me feet. So all of those, the rhyming bit is cut off of all of those. And you get your Cockney Rhyming Slang phrase for all of those. There is one Cockney Rhyming Slang phrase, and as far as I know, it's the only one, but correct me if I'm wrong, that has a double derivation. You might hear a Cockney refer to their arris, which is their backside. You won't believe it, mate. I slipped on some mud right on my arris. Oh, it's sore. Arris comes from Aristotle. Aristotle rhymes with bottle. Bottle and glass rhymes with arse. So it's not a bad corruption of arse. It's actually a double Cockney rhyming slang. Talking of derivations, if you've ever seen the film Cockneys vs Zombies, which I thoroughly recommend for one very good reason, I'm in it. I've got about 3 seconds of screen time. If you ever watch it and you spot me, I'll be very, very impressed. But there is a scene where Dudley Sutton's character refers to the zombies as Trafalgars. And his friends are very confused. He goes, it's rhyming slang. Well, how's it rhyming slang? Trafalgar Square, fox and hare, hairy Greek, 5-day week, weak and feeble, pins and needles, needle and stitch, Abercrombie and Fitch, Abercrombie, zombie. That obviously no real Cockney rhyming slang is derived like that. But yeah, that's how some of the Cockney rhyming slang phrases get derived. Simple rhymes that are in common use. Now, some words or some Cockney rhyming slang phrases have a double meaning. Perfect example of this is bubble. The late George Michael was a bubble because he was a bubble and squeak, a Greek. But apparently he was also a right bubble because he was a bubble bath, a laugh. So he could be, in both contexts, a bubble, but you have to understand the context. And again, to confuse outsiders. There are some original words that have more than one Cockney rhyming slang translation. The pub, more often than not, and this is another one that normally uses the full phrase, is the rubber dub. But sometimes it's the nuclear sub. So, where do the derivations come from? All sorts of places. A lot of them come from famous people. So I've already referred to Gregory Peck. I would imagine there's a lot of Brits, will understand what you would mean if you say, I'm going for a ruby. So a ruby is a curry. Why is it a curry? Because the Cockney rhyming slang is Ruby Murray. Now, even though Ruby Murray had her last chart hit in 1959, that has stuck. Hank Marvin, guitarist in the Shadows in the 60s. That's become rhyming slang for starving. Oh, I'm really Hank. Again, though, normally that one gets the full phrase. I'm really Hank Marvin. And you get modern ones. Want to go for a couple of Britneys? Britney Spears. Beers. So it's evolving all the time. Sometimes it doesn't stick. A rhyme just doesn't take off for some reason. Now, there are some phrases that people say are Cockney rhyming slang, but I'm not so sure. Barney is one. A Barney means trouble, and people will say that has come from Barney Rubble. But Barney, to mean an argument or a row, has been around for a long, long time, well before the Flintstones were ever on TV. And another one is house. People will say drum, and they will tell you it comes from drum and bass to mean place. Again, I'm not sure about that. Drum to mean where you live has been around for a long, long time, much, much longer than drum and bass as a genre. So anyway, that is a basic intro to Cockney rhyming slang. If you want to know any more, put it in the comments. I might do a follow-up if people are interested enough. But hope you enjoyed that. See you soon.